In the shadowy world of cyber warfare, where lines between nations blur and invisible weapons reign supreme, one digital entity emerged as a game-changer. Stuxnet. A name whispered in hushed tones by those in the know, a force to be reckoned with in the realm of clandestine operations. But what is Stuxnet, and why does its legacy loom large over the annals of modern history? To understand the gravity of its impact, we must first delve into the murky depths of its origins, where code meets espionage in a deadly dance. Narration: picture this, a quiet, unassuming computer virus, silently infiltrating the most secure networks in the world with surgical precision. Its target? The heart of Iran's nuclear program. As centrifuges whirred and uranium enriched in the depths of underground facilities, Stuxnet lurked in the shadows, biding its time. And then, with a single command, chaos erupted. Centrifuges spun out of control, systems faltered, and the world watched in awe as a digital weapon unleashed its devastating power. Stuxnet was not just a virus, it was a harbinger of a new era, where bits and bytes held the power to shape nations' destinies. Narration: but as the dust settled and Iran grappled with the aftermath of Stuxnet's wrath, a chilling realization dawned on the world. If a digital weapon could sabotage a nuclear program with such precision, what else was possible? The age of cyber warfare had arrived, and Stuxnet was its herald. As we unravel the mysteries of this enigmatic entity, we are forced to confront the uncomfortable truth: in the digital age, the line between reality and virtuality blurs, and the consequences of our actions transcend borders and boundaries. Stuxnet was just the beginning, and the world would never be the same again. In the dark corners of the internet, where lines of code weave intricate webs of digital deception, a shadowy presence lurked. It was a presence unlike any other, a creation born from the minds of brilliant minds with a sinister purpose. This was Stuxnet, the digital weapon that would shake the world to its core. As cybersecurity experts delved into the depths of cyberspace, they stumbled upon something that would change the course of history forever. It was a discovery that would unravel a web of deceit and intrigue, revealing a threat unlike anything they had ever seen before. Narration: the first hints of Stuxnet's existence came in the form of anomalies, subtle disturbances in the digital landscape that hinted at something far more sinister lurking beneath the surface. As experts peeled back the layers of code, they uncovered a sophisticated piece of malware unlike anything they had ever encountered. Stuxnet was a weapon of unparalleled complexity, a digital masterpiece designed to infiltrate the most secure systems with ease. Its creators had woven a tapestry of deception, using advanced techniques to evade detection and wreak havoc on their unsuspecting targets. Narration: as the full extent of Stuxnet's capabilities came to light, a sense of unease settled over the cybersecurity community. This was not just another piece of malware, this was a weapon, a tool of sabotage wielded with deadly precision. The discovery of Stuxnet sent shockwaves through the world, sparking a global conversation about the power of cyber warfare and the dangers of the digital age. The experts knew they were facing a formidable foe, one that would stop at nothing to achieve its goals. And as they raced against time to unravel the mysteries of Stuxnet, they knew that the fate of nations hung in the balance. This was just the beginning of a battle that would change the face of cybersecurity forever. As the world delved deeper into the shadowy world of cyber warfare, a singular target emerged from the digital fog: the Natanz nuclear facility. Tucked away in the arid landscape of Iran, this sprawling complex was the focal point of Stuxnet's malevolent intentions. But what made Natanz such a prime target for this insidious digital weapon? The answer lies in the heart of Iran's nuclear ambitions, a secretive program that sought to defy international sanctions and achieve the ultimate prize: nuclear capability. Narration: the Natanz facility, with its cascading centrifuges and fortified walls, represented the crown jewel of Iran's nuclear program. Here, scientists and engineers toiled away in the pursuit of nuclear power, much to the chagrin of the international community. And it was here that Stuxnet struck with surgical precision, infiltrating the facility's systems like a silent predator in the night. The consequences were devastating: centrifuges spun out of control, systems malfunctioned, and chaos reigned within the once secure walls of Natanz. The world watched in awe and horror as a digital weapon of unprecedented sophistication wreaked havoc on a physical target thousands of miles away. Narration: but the implications of Stuxnet's attack on Natanz went far beyond the physical realm. It served as a stark warning to nations around the globe: no system, no matter how secure, was immune to the dangers of cyber warfare. The digital age had ushered in a new era of warfare, one where invisible lines blurred, and the battlefield extended into the depths of cyberspace. As the dust settled on the ruins of Natanz, one thing became abundantly clear: the world had witnessed the birth of a new kind of weapon, one that could shape the course of history in ways never before imagined. And the echoes of Stuxnet's attack on the Natanz nuclear facility would reverberate for years to come, casting a long shadow over the future of warfare in the digital age. In the secretive world of cyber warfare, where code is the weapon of choice and anonymity is a shield, a digital behemoth was born. Its name, Stuxnet. But the birth of this malicious creation was not a hasty affair. No, it was a meticulously planned and executed operation that would forever change the landscape of cyber warfare. The development of Stuxnet was a testament to the ingenuity and sophistication of its creators, a shadowy alliance of nation-states with a singular goal in mind: to sabotage Iran's nuclear program. Narration: the genesis of Stuxnet can be traced back to the early 2000s, when whispers of Iran's clandestine nuclear ambitions began to echo through the intelligence community. As the centrifuges in Iran's Natanz facility spun furiously, enriching uranium for what many believed to be a nuclear weapons program, the world took notice. But instead of resorting to traditional military means to halt Iran's progress, a bold new strategy was devised. Enter Stuxnet, a weapon unlike any other, a digital virus designed to infiltrate and disrupt the very heart of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Narration: the development of Stuxnet was a Herculean task, requiring a deep understanding of both nuclear enrichment processes and complex computer systems. Its creators had to navigate the treacherous waters of zero-day vulnerabilities, digital signatures, and air-gapped networks to ensure that their weapon would remain undetected until it was too late. And when Stuxnet finally struck, it did so with devastating precision, causing chaos and confusion within Iran's nuclear facilities. The world had witnessed the power of a new era of warfare, one where lines between the physical and digital realms blurred, and where a single line of code could change the course of history. In the heart of Iran, nestled deep within the arid landscape of Natanz, lies a facility shrouded in secrecy and guarded with the utmost vigilance. This is where Iran's nuclear ambitions come to life, where centrifuges spin relentlessly, enriching uranium for what the world suspects to be a clandestine weapons program. But little did the engineers and security personnel at Natanz know, a digital beast was lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike with unparalleled precision and devastating consequences. Narration: Stuxnet, a sophisticated piece of malware unlike anything the world had seen before, was the brainchild of some of the most skilled cyber operatives in the world. Its creators knew that to cripple Iran's nuclear ambitions, they had to infiltrate the heart of the beast, the secure systems at Natanz. And so, with meticulous planning and precision, Stuxnet found its way into the facility through a series of ingenious tactics that bypassed even the most stringent security measures. Narration: as the malware spread like a silent plague through the network, it sought out its target with unrelenting determination. The centrifuge control systems, the very machines responsible for enriching uranium, were the primary focus of Stuxnet's insidious mission. With each passing moment, the malware dug its claws deeper into the system, manipulating the centrifuges to spin at destructive speeds, causing irreparable damage that would go unnoticed until it was too late. And as the world looked on in disbelief, the true power of Stuxnet was revealed, a digital weapon that could infiltrate the most secure facilities and bring them to their knees with a single, devastating blow. Narration: the infection had taken hold, and the consequences would be felt for years to come. Natanz, once a symbol of Iran's nuclear ambitions, now stood as a stark reminder of the power of cyber warfare. And as the dust settled and the world grappled with the implications of Stuxnet's unprecedented attack, one thing became clear: in the digital age, the line between physical and virtual warfare had blurred beyond recognition, ushering in a new era where the weapons of choice were no longer bombs and bullets, but lines of code that could bring nations to their knees with a few keystrokes. In the covert world of cyber warfare, where lines between nations blur and digital weapons reign supreme, one attack stood out above all others. Stuxnet, a sophisticated computer virus, unleashed its destructive power on Iran's nuclear program with unprecedented precision and devastation. Chapter 6 delves deep into the heart of this sabotage, revealing the chilling effects it had on Iran's nuclear centrifuges. As the Stuxnet virus infiltrated Iran's nuclear facilities, it targeted the very core of their operations, the centrifuges responsible for enriching uranium. With surgical precision, Stuxnet manipulated the speed and operation of these centrifuges, causing chaos and destruction in its wake. The once secretive world of cyber warfare was thrust into the spotlight as the true capabilities of digital weapons were revealed. Iran's nuclear ambitions were dealt a severe blow, setting back their program by years. The sabotage unleashed by Stuxnet was a wake-up call to the world, showcasing the power and potential danger of cyber weapons in the modern age. As governments scrambled to secure their own systems and defend against future attacks, the legacy of Stuxnet lived on as a cautionary tale. The digital battlefield had shifted, and the rules of engagement were forever changed. Chapter 6 serves as a stark reminder of the destructive force that can be unleashed with a few lines of code, forever altering the course of history. As news of Stuxnet's devastating impact on Iran's nuclear facilities spread across the globe, the international community found itself plunged into a state of shock and awe. The use of a sophisticated cyber weapon to infiltrate and sabotage a nation's critical infrastructure was unprecedented, sending ripples of fear and uncertainty through governments and cybersecurity experts worldwide. Questions arose about the true extent of Stuxnet's capabilities and the implications it had for the future of warfare in the digital age. The clandestine nature of the attack and the precision with which it targeted specific systems raised concerns about the vulnerability of nations to such covert cyber threats. Narration: in the aftermath of the Stuxnet attack, diplomatic tension soared as accusations and denials flew between nations. Speculation ran rampant about the origins of the cyber weapon and the motives behind its deployment. The United States and Israel were quickly identified as the prime suspects behind the operation, leading to a wave of condemnation from Iran and other countries sympathetic to its cause. The use of Stuxnet as a weapon of war in the cyber realm blurred the lines between traditional and unconventional warfare, challenging the established norms of conflict and security on a global scale. Narration: as the dust settled on the Stuxnet saga, the world was left grappling with the sobering reality of a new era of warfare, one where the battlefield extended beyond physical borders and into the unseen realm of cyberspace. The international fallout from Stuxnet served as a wake-up call for governments and security experts, highlighting the urgent need for robust cybersecurity measures and international cooperation to defend against future cyber threats. The legacy of Stuxnet would continue to loom large in the annals of history, forever changing the way we perceive and respond to the ever-evolving landscape of digital warfare. As the mysterious Stuxnet worm continued to wreak havoc within Iran's nuclear facilities, the hunt for the culprits behind this digital weapon intensified. Investigators from various intelligence agencies around the world scrambled to piece together the puzzle of Stuxnet's origins. The sheer complexity and sophistication of the malware pointed toward state-sponsored actors with advanced cyber capabilities. Speculation ran rampant as to which nation or nations could have been behind such a brazen cyber attack. The stakes were high, as Stuxnet had not only disrupted Iran's nuclear program but also set a dangerous precedent for future cyber warfare tactics. Narration: in the shadowy world of international espionage, every lead, every clue, was meticulously analyzed and cross-referenced. Cybersecurity experts pored over lines of code, searching for digital fingerprints that could point towards the creators of Stuxnet. The investigation led to a tangled web of false leads, dead ends, and misdirection. The perpetrators had covered their tracks well, leaving behind only breadcrumbs of evidence that were difficult to trace. But as the digital forensic trail grew colder, a breakthrough finally emerged. A trail of breadcrumbs led investigators to a joint operation between the United States and Israel, codenamed Operation Olympic Games. Narration: Operation Olympic Games was a highly covert cyber operation aimed at disrupting Iran's nuclear program through the use of Stuxnet. The operation was a collaborative effort between the American and Israeli intelligence agencies, with the goal of slowing down Iran's progress towards developing nuclear weapons. The revelation of this joint operation sent shockwaves through the international community, as the true extent of state-sponsored cyber warfare capabilities was laid bare. The hunt for the culprits behind Stuxnet had reached its climax, revealing a new era of digital warfare where the lines between conventional and cyber warfare were blurred. And as the dust settled, one thing became clear: the hunt for the culprits behind Stuxnet was just the beginning of a new chapter in the history of cyber warfare. In the aftermath of Stuxnet, the world was left reeling from the revelation of a new era in warfare. This digital weapon, created with unprecedented sophistication and precision, had successfully infiltrated Iran's nuclear facilities, causing chaos and delaying their nuclear ambitions. But the true impact of Stuxnet went far beyond its immediate target. It served as a wake-up call to governments and cybersecurity experts worldwide, highlighting the vulnerability of critical infrastructure to cyber attacks. The legacy of Stuxnet would shape the future of cybersecurity and international relations in ways no one could have predicted. Narration: the shadow of Stuxnet loomed large over the cybersecurity landscape, forcing nations to rethink their strategies and defenses against potential cyber threats. The attack demonstrated the power of a well-crafted piece of malware to wreak havoc on even the most secure systems, raising concerns about the potential for similar attacks on other critical infrastructure around the globe. The fear of a digital arms race, where nations compete to develop the most destructive cyber weapons, became a stark reality in the post-Stuxnet world. The legacy of Stuxnet was not just about the damage it caused in Iran, but the fear and uncertainty it instilled in governments and organizations worldwide. Narration: as the world grappled with the implications of Stuxnet, cybersecurity experts worked tirelessly to strengthen defenses and develop new technologies to detect and mitigate advanced threats. The legacy of Stuxnet was a catalyst for innovation in the cybersecurity industry, driving research and development into new ways to protect critical infrastructure from cyber attacks. The lessons learned from Stuxnet would shape the future of cybersecurity, leading to the development of more sophisticated defense mechanisms and a greater awareness of the need for international cooperation to combat cyber threats. The legacy of Stuxnet serves as a stark reminder of the ever-evolving nature of warfare in the digital age, where the line between the physical and virtual worlds is increasingly blurred. In the shadowy world of international espionage, where nations vie for supremacy through clandestine means, a new weapon emerged, a weapon unlike any other. Stuxnet. A digital virus crafted with surgical precision to infiltrate and disrupt the Iranian nuclear program. Its origin shrouded in mystery, its creators hidden in the shadows, Stuxnet marked a turning point in the history of warfare. No longer were physical weapons the sole instruments of destruction. The era of cyber warfare had dawned, and its implications were profound. Narration: with Stuxnet, the boundaries of warfare were redrawn. No longer confined to battlefields or skies, the battleground had expanded to include the invisible realm of cyberspace. The implications were staggering, for now, a single line of code wielded the power to cripple nations, disrupt critical infrastructure, and sow chaos on a global scale. The digital arms race had begun, with nations scrambling to develop their own cyber weapons, to defend against potential attacks, to assert their dominance in this new frontier. Narration: but as the world grappled with the implications of Stuxnet and the rise of cyber warfare, one thing was clear: the rules of engagement had changed. No longer could nations rely solely on traditional military might to secure their interests. The digital domain had become a battlefield in its own right, where hackers and coders held as much power as soldiers and generals. The age of information warfare was upon us, and the stakes could not be higher. As nations raced to develop their cyber capabilities, the specter of Stuxnet loomed large, a reminder of the awesome power of digital weapons and the need for constant vigilance in this new era of conflict. In the wake of the Stuxnet attack, the world found itself at a crossroads, staring into the abyss of a new era of warfare, one where lines between physical and digital realms blurred, where a few lines of code could wreak havoc on entire nations. The implications of Stuxnet were profound, shaking the foundations of cybersecurity as we knew it. It was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that our critical infrastructure was vulnerable, that our digital defenses were not as impregnable as we once thought. As the dust settled on the Stuxnet incident, experts and policymakers scrambled to assess the damage and chart a path forward. The question on everyone's mind was clear: how do we protect ourselves from the next Stuxnet? The future of cybersecurity had arrived, and it was a daunting landscape to navigate. Traditional defenses were no match for the sophisticated cyber weapons being developed by state actors and rogue hackers alike. The era of firewalls and antivirus software was over, a relic of a bygone era. The battlefield had shifted to the digital realm, where zero-day exploits and advanced persistent threats lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. The need for a new approach to cybersecurity was urgent, pressing. It was no longer enough to simply react to threats as they emerged. Proactive measures were needed to stay one step ahead of the adversaries. As the world grappled with the fallout from Stuxnet, a new era of cybersecurity was born, one that embraced the principles of defense in depth, resilience, and agility. Organizations began to invest heavily in threat intelligence, incident response capabilities, and advanced security technologies to fortify their defenses. Governments around the world scrambled to develop new policies and regulations to better protect critical infrastructure from cyber attacks. The lessons of Stuxnet were not lost on anyone. They served as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that existed in our interconnected world. The future of cybersecurity was uncertain, but one thing was clear: the stakes had never been higher, and the need for vigilance had never been more critical. As we come to the conclusion of this riveting journey into the heart of cyber warfare, one thing is abundantly clear: Stuxnet's dark legacy continues to cast a long shadow over the world of digital security. This insidious piece of malware, designed with surgical precision to target Iran's nuclear facilities, not only succeeded in its mission to disrupt the country's nuclear program but also opened Pandora's box of possibilities for future cyber attacks. The repercussions of Stuxnet's deployment are far-reaching and profound, serving as a stark reminder of the immense power wielded by those who possess the knowledge and resources to unleash such destructive forces upon the digital realm. With its groundbreaking use of advanced cyber weapons, Stuxnet forever changed the landscape of modern warfare, blurring the lines between physical and digital battlegrounds. This highly sophisticated weapon, believed to be a joint creation of the United States and Israel, demonstrated the enormous potential of cyber attacks to infiltrate and manipulate critical infrastructure with devastating consequences. The sheer audacity and complexity of Stuxnet's design showcased the lengths to which state actors are willing to go in order to achieve their strategic objectives, setting a dangerous precedent for future conflicts in the digital age. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of Stuxnet's dark legacy lies in its lasting impact on global cybersecurity. The vulnerabilities exploited by this malicious software have continued to haunt governments, corporations, and individuals worldwide, highlighting the urgent need for enhanced defenses against cyber threats. The specter of Stuxnet looms large as a cautionary tale of the dangers posed by the weaponization of technology, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of our interconnected world. As we reflect on the enduring impact of Stuxnet, one thing remains clear: the digital battlefield is constantly evolving, and the lessons learned from this unprecedented cyber weapon will shape the future of warfare for generations to come.